Dog neglected for years finally gets a haircut that uncovers his real identity. It's recommended you get a haircut approximately every 8 to 12 weeks if you're looking to keep your hair bouncy and healthy. That period when hair is riddled with split ends and looks lifeless has most people running to the salon. But what if you were forced to give up on grooming altogether? While people can take themselves to Supercuts whenever they want, dogs rely on their people to keep their coats in shape. It's more important than you'd think because neglected fur becomes infected fur. One dog in Tennessee was desperate for some maintenance, and he was starting to worry it was too late. On any given day at a private barn down south, you're bound to be greeted by sunshine, comfortable silence, and a rustic ambience. Joyful, peaceful sightings of sheep, cows, and chickens all make up the countryside experience. However, one Tennessee barn holds an ambience much darker, one that exudes pure gloom. That barn housed a dog who probably wouldn't speak too highly of life on the farm. That dog is Lazarus. The sweet Pyrenean mountain dog lived a life of neglect and discomfort throughout his first 7 years. We could only imagine the fear that plagued the poor pup, who sported a pretty gnarly hairdo. The Tennessee pooch spent those years cooped up in the smelly, filthy, coated barn, having no room to run and no sky to see. He was left alone to fend for himself, unintentionally fencing himself in with his own waste. He must have been particularly uncomfortable. Pyrenean mountain dogs have double coats of fur, with a dense, fine undercoat. Without proper grooming, matting can lead to skin issues, and unfortunately, Lazarus endured extreme matting. The matting was a surprisingly weighted mess. Lazarus's fur overgrew to an incredible mass, weighing an astonishing 35 pounds. His life was at stake, and he needed help to come sooner rather than later. Grievously, the dog's owner reportedly suffered from a mental illness, having called a relative for immediate assistance, so the owner was no help to Laz. Little did the helpless pooch know, he was about to encounter the best day of his heretofore sad life. Soon enough, after the owner's relative made an urgent phone call, a diligent rescue team of volunteers from the Big Fluffy Dog Rescue, which included 2 groomers who must have anticipated the challenge of their career, came to liberate Lazarus. To the horror of the rescue team, there was a tremendous amount of dirt and feces blocking the door to Lazarus's barn stall, so much so that the team had to shovel a path to save the poor furry angel. Lazarus was so close to freedom. When they could finally tend to the struggling pooch, the team immediately became aware of some health problems Lazarus had been facing, which hindered his ability to get around with ease. The matted fur, like a swarming, restricting ivy plant covering the building, tragically made it impossible for him to walk. The mutt must have dreamed of running free in a sunny field, chasing cats and butterflies. But would he ever be able to? Gene Harrison, the owner of the Big Fluffy Dog Rescue, said he had no muscle mass and was unable to move around, let alone walk. Although the news was alarming, the team just had to start buzzing off some of that nasty dead fur without hesitation. It took hours to groom Lazarus, who initially cowered from the rescue team's touch out of pure fear. Once his neck was free from the fur prison, however, he warmed up, realizing that the group of strange humans had good intentions. He calmed down and seemed to realize the grooming, was making him feel better. Jessica Chinslow, one of the dog groomers, said on behalf of Lazarus, "Rest assured, after cutting off all of Lazarus's impeding fur, he was a new man, or rather a new good boy. We think he looks rather dapper in his new do." Gene Harrison mentioned that he, unfortunately, didn't have typical dog mannerisms down pat. "Lazarus doesn't know how to be a dog," she said. "He doesn't exactly know how to behave like a dog." He'd learn soon enough. Gene voiced that the still shy Lazarus approached a freshly grilled steak cautiously, which made us sad. "Dogs shouldn't have to be grateful for food," she said, "nor should the innocent creatures ever have to suffer." But Lazarus's suffering was now over. From there, Lazarus was taken into a foster home in Virginia, where he would embark on his arduous recovery journey, as well as receive heaps of good boy pets and kisses. He had a lot of pain to overcome, but more importantly, he had a lot of happiness to look forward to. It would take weeks or even months for the pup to regain strength, muscle mass, and a little self-esteem prior to getting adopted by his forever family. But until then, Lazarus had sights to see and steaks to devour. As expected, Lazarus was adopted in no time. His family clearly takes proper care of his precious, high-maintenance coat and gives him tons of TLC. We think he deserves all the love and steaks the world has to offer. Rescuing dogs like Lazarus isn't always easy, but it's always rewarding. In fact, some rescuers would say that it's the toughest cases that are the most rewarding.